songs.
You tried?
Yeah, Facebook didn't let it.
Oh.
And I used the Apple theme music.
Yeah.
And I used it.
Oh. If that little angel baby cries, you'll have to take her out. We're live right now, PS. Seven viewers, hi. You get to see me just sitting here breathing. I'm just letting everyone know they call us live. Hey, everybody. I just got a message from Miguel saying his internet is acting up, so maybe 10 minutes. You guys got 10 minutes? No problem. I actually like that because to me, Miguel is like one of the smartest people in the world. And when his stuff isn't working, it makes me feel like when my stuff's not working, it's not me. It happens to everybody, which it happens to me often. So grab your note takers while we're waiting. I don't know if it's, he says he's trying to restart, so hopefully it won't be 10 more minutes. One thing I wish that this setup had was the ability to read a chat, read your guys' chat, because this would be like prime opportunity to answer questions or talk.
You could open it up in mine.
Anytime I've ever tried that, though, it gives me that horrible feedback. You could open it, I guess. Is that what you mean? Like you could follow?
Yeah, but like so you could just read it from. You could read the questions to them. You know?
You can get up there, Wise. What kind of oil you got over there?
Clarity.
Smells good. Did you pull up the site? The link?
Yeah.
My headband. Leo. Shaco. Chapstick. Kombucha. Kyanite. Oh. Anyone got any questions, Dad? Oh, I see.
It's just muted. There's a little lag, but what's up, everyone?
Killing time till Miggs gets on.
Reeve says hello. Hello.
Baby's good. Baby's good. Let's check on Miggy. Baby's good. Let's check on Miggy. Well, thanks again for being here. Anyone? Okay, you're making kombucha. Awesome. Jason loved wearing the babies. Kind of awkward now, though. Tell us something that worked really well for you this week. Nothing's working well for me. Look at me. I'm kidding. Didn't you see my post this morning? We are like not figuring anything out yet, but we're trying. Yesterday was a wash. I didn't get anything done outside of appointments. We had appointments all day. So my mom watching both babies worked really well for us. As far as business, buffer. Instead of putting that pressure on myself to wake up in time to post in my groups, I just buffered it out last night. So taking that extra step to post worked well, or just get it done so I could sleep well. Love you, Court. Or something you're excited about. Buffer is a scheduling. It's like Hootsuite. For some reason, we went with Buffer. I can't remember why, but it works well. Oh, something you're excited about? I don't know how relatable it is, but maybe it's a goal that you can set. I am excited about, I have someone coming to help us. Tomorrow she comes. I've got a whole list of her. She basically will be picking up the pieces that my mom, my assistant, doesn't do yet, things I don't want to delegate to her. She's going to be helping out around the house, like kind of like a house manager. I'm excited about that. I did tell her that it's going to take some pruning time. I don't know. I'm not that organized, so my thoughts aren't that organized. My delegation list is not that organized, but we're just going to take a few weeks to find out how each other works, and hopefully she can help me organize my life. Business, home, to-do list. I don't know about you guys. I have paper to-do lists, but I also have like 15 started ones on my phone, and they're not getting done. But I have one like this, like a hard copy, which works. But this is the sheet of paper that I pulled off. And look, all that stuff that I wrote, that only 3 things got done before I had to start a new sheet. So, not that great yet. It's getting there. Going to be fine. I am not worried about it. I know that we're going to be fine. I know you're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. We're going to be more than fine. We're going to be great. But greatness takes time. It takes effort. It takes implementing new things and practicing that until it becomes great. I just scheduled with Facebook on your like page. That's possible, right, Jason? But I don't know if you can do that in your groups. But if you can, enlighten me. Okay. I'm talking about in groups. Is that he's saying careful with apps for posting? Facebook will curb the reach sometimes. And he says even in the groups? Yes, he says. I've never noticed. But I'll have to look into that. I'm going to message Miguel. Because I know you guys are here and ready, and I appreciate that. It's funny that this happened. Well, it's not funny, but it's ironic. How about that? Okay, Jason said, yeah, you're fine in groups, which I had never noticed that no one saw them before, but didn't mean it wasn't happening. What other questions do you have? Have you been using the challenge group app? Honestly, I have not. My brain has not even went there. Tony may be a good person to give information on that. I was in the test group, and of course that test group was to figure out what wasn't working, but there was all these things that weren't working, and I was like, I ain't got time for that. Which is not good, right? But the people that do enjoy learning new things and using outside sources, like I just use Facebook right now, so mainly everyone I talk to is on Facebook, so it's never been an issue with me to not use Facebook for my groups. I know a lot of people build on IG, or perhaps you have a reach through your YouTube, and those people don't have Facebook pages, or they don't want to, or they don't use theirs. But pretty much everyone I have is down with getting on their Facebook. Not saying that one day I won't learn, but like right now, I think my brain's at capacity, and I want to wait until I have a need to learn it. And Nikki says Postcron instead of Buffer. Jason, you're smart. He says 5 minutes max. In my experience, hearing Miguel speak is always worth it. He is energy out the wahoo. And I like that. Awesome. Maybe we should have somebody host a call on the app. Would that be beneficial? Since I don't have any knowledge on that. Let's talk about that some, because that may be something that we do. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna have to like edit this or something. What do you mean, Court? So you must be talking about living under a rock with these apps. Yeah. But with the posting apps. But you are enjoying the challenge group app. Okay, cool. Scarlett says engagement went down on the app. I tried Evernote. I didn't get very far with that. Sorry guys. Now I'm just like checking some posts here. Aha, Miggy.
Can you see me?
I can see you pointing at us, your thumbnail. There, I see you.
Holy moly. I was already all pretty and good to go, and of course then the internet doesn't work. How are you? You look amazing.
Thank you. I'm just gonna accept that compliment. Don't worry. We all are just sitting here waiting. We were chatting, and we're just happy to see you.
Oh, that's awesome. No, it was good. My last ditch effort, if this didn't work, was going to be I was going to try and steal my neighbor's internet and see if that worked.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't have to do that, but I'm sure he wouldn't have cared. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just introduce you so I can flip it over to you, and you can keep this. We just do a 30-minute thing, but since we lost some time, take your time or shorten it, whatever you want to do. Totally up to you. But I'm sure everyone already knows who this is, but this is Miguel Carrasco. He's a 9-star diamond. He is the top coach in Canada for, I think, since Canada launched, right?
Yeah.
Him and his wife are an elite couple team. I think the first in Canada even. I don't really know. And I know it's hard to hear all these awesome things about yourself, but he's honestly just, I mean, Millionaires Club, all that great stuff, but he's one of my favorite speakers. He's full of energy and life. He's funny. He's smart. He is the founder of Smart Ass Fitness, and he's just a dear friend. I'm going to be really candid. And he reached out to me and said, look, I know you just had a baby. Is there anything I can do? Can I host a call for you? I have never in my entire coaching career had anyone do that, and I've never even actually asked anyone to host a call for DFG. Sorry guys, I know that's not nice, but I didn't want to put anyone out, but he put himself out and offered, and I think that is so awesome. So I'm just tickled pink to have you here, buddy. We love you, you know that, and I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for the nice intro, and again, sorry about the issue there. I've never had anything like that before, and it's funny because I reached out to help you out, and I was like, oh no, and now my call's not working. This is fantastic. And it's even funnier when you're like the computer guy that's supposed to like have everything figured out. And then Erin's telling me that her Excel isn't working, and it's just one of those tech days where, you know, that's how things go. But I guess it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson that you never give up, right? No matter what's going on, you just find a way to make it work, and you just like focus in on the problem and solve it. And that's kind of how life goes. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you guys today. I'll try and go fast through kind of what the meat of kind of what I was praying on and thinking that you guys might want to hear today, and then After that, yeah, if you guys have any questions, I know that probably some of you take off for lunch for this, so I'll try and, I was going to do this in about 20 minutes. I'll try and do it in like 10, and then if we have any questions or whatever, and I'm not going to promise I'll do it in 10, I might go 30, but I'm going to try my best. But yeah, so what I thought we could talk about today is a really cool topic, which I've kind of been taking notes on over the last kind of 3 years. What I find with a lot of my coaches is one of the things they struggle with the most is actually getting someone to say yes, getting someone to buy a challenge pack, getting someone to join as coaches. And a lot of times you hear, especially new coaches, with the excuses, not that they have excuses, but the people that they're talking to have excuses of, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, and all these types of things. And so over the years, I've kind of just, I'm crazy about notes, not written notes because I can't write, but notes on my iPhone, and I just take notes like crazy. And so a couple months ago, I did a call like this for my coaches, and so I've just kind of been tweaking it a bit. This is part of what I'm going to talk about in Nashville. But basically, I've kind of come up with like a bit of a formula that seems to work very well, that could kind of help you when you're talking to someone in terms of challenge packs, or when you're talking to someone in terms of coaching, to just kind of check these boxes off to ensure that you're actually covering your bases. Because I find a lot of times the reason people say no isn't because they don't believe in the product. It's not because they don't believe in you. It's because they don't have enough information. You haven't given them enough reason to actually go ahead and take the next step, which is to actually go ahead and purchase the program. So I don't know if you guys take notes on our calls. I tell people to take notes, but I'm going to ask you to take notes for this one specifically. I've tried the slides and stuff with Google Hangouts, and it always crashes on me. So I'll just make you take notes, and it'll be way easier and more fun anyway. So if you have a sheet of paper, grab a pen, and if you don't mind, maybe just write out a quick little triangle. Funny triangle pyramid. I'm kidding. Okay, draw a little triangle, and we're gonna divide that triangle into 6 different sections. Okay, so just make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and that should give you the 6 sections in the triangle. And right at the top, I want you to write out action. In the top box, I want you to write out action. In the bottom box, I want you to write out solution. In the box below that, I want you to write out problem. And below that, I want you to write information. Below that, I want you to write trust and credibility. And below that, I want you to write out rapport, okay? So this basically, and a lot of other books talk about this. I don't want to say this is my own brand new material, but what I like to do with personal development is I like to read a ton of books and find kind of what's similar between those books, what's similar between my experiences, and try and tie all those things together. And so basically what this is kind of like the step-by-step process on how to get someone to actually commit to joining your challenge group or commit to becoming a coach. So the steps actually go from the bottom up. And I'll talk about each one, and I'll talk about kind of different excuses that you might have heard and kind of how all that works. So let's go kind of through that. So in terms of rapport, let's start with rapport. So if you've ever heard things like, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, I need to think about it, or I still have some questions, or let me see how you do first in the coaching thing. And then if you do well, then maybe come back and talk to me. What results did you get with 21-day fix? Or I love this one. I've got so much on my plate right now, right? Especially people that, live in the mentality of I'm broke and all that, right? I've got too much going on. I don't have enough time. I don't really know what this is all about. I don't think it's for me. So if you've heard anything like that, even though you've gone through everything else in some cases, if you hear things like that, or that great one I love is, can you send me an email with all the information? I want to look it all over, right? You're not going to hear back from them, right? That's all rapport. That's all issues with building rapport with them. So you haven't taken enough time to build rapport. So what are the ways that I like to build rapport? And I kind of learned this by fluke. I used to, when I grew up, when I was 16, my parents couldn't afford the high school I was going to as a private school. My parents made combined like $35,000 a year. I don't know about the States. That's not lots in Canada, and that's Canadian dollars. So that would have been like probably 20 US. And our private school that I was going to, and my brothers were going to, all 3 of us, was $5,000 a year each one. So I actually took a job when I was 16 working at a call center. And lo and behold, this actually helped me a ton in Beachbody because I really got used to having people yell at me and telling me to quote unquote F off, and all the worst things ever, because I was the guy calling you for 1 year. I did the survey, so I'd call you at dinner time when you're doing dinner and be like, hey, do you have time to do a survey that's going to take you 4 hours? Most people didn't want to do that, right? The other job I had was when people called in for AT&T to cancel their internet bill or their phone bill, and it was like $2,000-$3,000. You've all heard those nightmares on the TVs and all that kind of stuff. That's who I was. I was the guy in charge of having them not only pay the bill, but also not cancel their internet service. So I got really good at realizing, because I needed to pay my bills, I was making minimum wage, and you got a bonus. Every time you saved a customer, you got $1, right? So an extra $1 for that hour. So if you saved 5 customers, you got an extra $5 on your pay, which was huge. So I got really good at that over the years. And one thing I noticed that I did really well compared to other people that were on the phones was I built rapport really quickly. And so you can do this through Facebook. You can do this through the phone. But the key to building rapport is to find commonalities with the other person, right? Once you find commonalities with someone else and you can talk about those. So let me give you an example. If I was talking to Lindsay, and Lindsay was saying, hey, yeah, can you tell me more about this challenge pack? The first thing I'd tell Lindsay, yeah, sure, no problem. But you know what I noticed on your Facebook? You just had a baby. Can you tell me more about, you mind telling me a little bit more about that and what your goals are, right now? I mean, you must be so busy, right? Empathize with them. You must be so busy right now. How do you even find the time? And then they're going to come back to you. And then they're going to say, yeah, you know what? I'm really busy. I don't have the time, but I need to make it a priority. And this is why, and these are the things. And then I'll start talking about my kids, right? Then I'll say, yeah, my wife, even though I'm a guy, right? And I still build the business. I'm doing pretty good still, but I just find commonalities. Yeah, my wife, she gave birth to 3 kids as well. And, and the last one was actually a hard birth. It was, she had placenta previa. She was in bed rest. So I'll talk about those things. So I'll spend like 5-10 minutes building up that rapport with them, because I know that if I build up rapport, and it's genuine, right? I'm not going to fake it, but once I build up that rapport, no matter what I say afterwards, it's all going to have like 10 times more effect, 10 times more belief. If you don't do that, if you skip that and you rush right in, how much does it cost? It's X dollars. Or, hey, can you tell me more about the program? Sure, no problem. It includes all these containers and all that stuff. All that information you have to give them, but you almost have to stop them, right? You have control of the conversation. Always realize that whether it's through texting, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through the phone, whether it's in person, you have control of the conversation. So build that rapport. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is the trust and credibility factor, okay? So what's all that about? Again, those are very similar ones, but these ones sound a little more like this. Let me run this by my parents, kids, uncles, friends, nephews, brother, sister. You've probably heard that before, right? Or, my husband's home from, in 3 weeks. I'll ask him at that point, and then we'll see what his brother says. Just weird things like that. When you hear weird things like that, that's the trust and the credibility factor that's kind of not playing out. This one, to build that one up, the reality is your Facebook is your best weapon. Okay, so what you put out there on Facebook, I find Snapchat is great. I've been using Snapchat a lot to build up trust and credibility with people. See, a lot of people ask me, just to sidetrack a bit about Snapchat. So Snapchat is a great platform because people ask me like, well, how do you sell from Snapchat? How do you get someone to buy a challenge pack through Snapchat? How do you do all that stuff? You don't. The answer for Snapchat is you're just building trust and credibility with someone, right, over a period of time, because they're getting to see you day to day without, makeup on, without like a 3-hour-long written out post on Facebook. It's like literally it took you 10 seconds, you hit record, it's a done deal. You don't even think about it. And it takes no time to do Snapchat, which is why I love Snapchat. So trust and credibility is huge. If you're telling someone, I can help you get X results, I only have 20 spots, they're filling up fast, and they go to your Facebook and you still have to start your transformation, you don't have a blog, you haven't posted anyone else's before and afters recently, there's a post of you from the weekend, going out boozing with my buddies, all those types of things. Like, you have to realize this is a business at the end of the day, and whatever, and this is what I tell people. They're like, well, that's my real life. Well, I tell them this. I say, hey, listen, that's fine, but then don't try and sell anything through Facebook. Don't try and build your Beachbody business through Facebook. If you want to do that on the weekend and post that because that's you, that's fine, but then don't use this for business. That's totally okay, right? So whatever platform, I'm gonna write this down, whatever platform you use for your business, realize it is a business. You are a business. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It'll change your life. You can change other people's lives, but be okay with that. Be okay with saying, okay, yeah, this is my platform. This is my business. So the reason that's important is, as a coach, especially if you're a newer coach, and I find a lot of people that tune into calls are newer coaches, you got to realize that people will come at you and they'll say, well, why are you putting this on Facebook? Why are you doing all these things? Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself. Focus on yourself. I believe the world would be so much happier if everyone just worried about themselves. I mean, we've all really got our own problems to deal with. And so I think if you just worry about yourself, does it make you happy posting those things? Are you helping other people? Then great, keep doing it because it's working good. And that is the key to building trust and credibility. You have to show before and afters. You have to show your pictures of what you're doing, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you want to do, build trust and credibility with them. That's a huge thing. The last thing I'll say is events, right? Going to a coach summit in Nashville, going there and getting pictures, that is huge for trust and credibility, right? Now you can say, like, I use that. Like day one in my business, after the first year I worked out with Shanti. I use that picture every time I sold a T25 challenge pack within 1 or 2 messages. Here's a picture of me and Shanti, or here's a picture of me and Shalene Johnson. And all of you can get that by going to events, Super Saturdays, all that kind of stuff, right? The next point that I want to go through is information. So information, this one, again, if people start saying things like, I don't have time, I just can't decide. That's a big one. I can't decide. I'm not sure which program to do yet. Can you send me a video? Do you have the literature? I want to think about this more. I'm not exactly sure this is for me. Don't call me, I'll call you. Those types of things. If you hear those, it's because you haven't given them enough information, okay? So as an example, I'm very good at giving people the information. So once I've gone through the rapport and I know there's trust and credibility there, then I give them the information. Then I say, okay, so here's what I think we should do, Lindsay. Here's what I think we should do. You should actually become a Beachbody coach. It would be, everything you've told me is you've actually always wanted to build your own business. You want to stay accountable. Have you thought about actually becoming a coach? And she might say, absolutely, I actually have, and here's why. And then we start talking about that. Then I start giving her the information, right? You start giving her the information. Now, here's a secret, a little ninja trick that I use when I give information. I never give information. I never say, this is how much it is to sign up, or this is how much the challenge pack is, or this is how much psychology is. This is my ninja trick that I use. I tell my story. I say how I signed up. So I tell them the information, but I tell them through my story. I say, well, you know what, Lindsay? The easiest way I can explain it is how I did it. I became a coach by signing up for $49.95. And I'll give you Canadian prices because I don't know the American. For $49.95, I became a coach. And then a week later, I realized I could have bought this challenge pack that was $180. So I bought that afterwards. So I spent like $250. Mind you, you could have signed up for X dollars. What I got in that kit was, and then I'll go through the 21-day fix containers. I'll explain this. I'll explain the workouts, the 21 days. I'll explain the Shakeology, all those things. I'll give them all that information. And as I started drinking Shakeology, I started feeling better, and my digestive problems started going away. I lost, 80 pounds. I transformed my life. I got to work out with Shanti. Man, it was amazing. I love it. I think you totally love this thing. So when you give the information as a story, as it pertains to you, it is way, like 10 times perceived better than if you just give the information. Because a lot of this with my coaches, I've grown a lot of diamonds in the last short little period. And as a guy, it is harder as a guy, to be honest with you, because you're dealing with lots of women, which your women are amazing, but it's harder, like, for women to trust men, right? Like, just totally truthfully honest, right? I'm the no holds barred guy. And so what I can tell you is this, is if you tell it that way, like, this is the story, this is how I did it, it's way more trusting, it's way more credible. And when I sit down with other coaches that aren't having success and they're running ads or they're doing whatever they're trying to do and they're not hitting Success Club, the first thing I'll say is send me your messages. And one of the big red flags I see every time is they're giving the information without the story. Okay, the story is the glue. If you were building a house, think of building a house with bricks without cement in the middle. The cement in between every brick is the story. If you put more cement in there, that house won't shift. If you use all the bricks, but you don't use the cement, you're not going to have much success. That house is going to fall over. So make sure that you fill in the gaps with that story as much as possible. That's why I'm sure a lot of you had that favorite teacher in high school or college that told stories. You loved them, right? And you still learn things. Just like when you're watching a presentation live, right? If someone's just giving you information, you're like, oh man, please shoot me. I hope this is over soon. I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out right now. But if someone's up there telling a story, you're like, or a pastor at our church all the time, the pastor will start talking. He's telling a story. All of a sudden, I'm like, what? Tell me more. What happens next? So if you tell it that way, people are way more engaged and they will understand the information and they'll understand how it pertains to them. Okay. Going as fast as I can. I promise. I'm trying to keep you on time because I was late. Okay. Problem. The next thing is the problem. So once you've given them the information and you said, okay, here's how I did it here, and you're telling them all the info about the challenge pack or about coaching, whatever you decide to do, the next thing you want to do is reiterate the problem, right? Reiterate the problem that they told you in the beginning, right? So because you want to lose 30 pounds by June, I think what we need to do is we'll get you started with 21-day fix. You can do 2 rounds by June. And then I think you'll actually be in great shape to do 21-day fix extreme, which is kind of the next level of that program, which will be absolutely amazing. And you're going to love it. You're going to be in the greatest shape of your life. So that's an example of restating it, right? And the way I said it there, again, I was saying it almost assuming they were going to buy the challenge pack, just like I do with the coaching, right? I would say, Lindsay, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. I can't wait till we get started. Our new training starts on Monday. It's going to be huge. I think we'll be able to accomplish all the goals that you want. We'll be able to help you make that extra $200 per month that you want to do. And again, I always give them the income disclaimer whenever I give out any income information or anything like that. But telling them and restating their problem is going to tone them back in, right? So now you have the rapport, you've got the trust, the credibility, you've given them the information, you've restated the problem. Now you have to tell them the solution, right? Which I was kind of getting to. And the solution part is what happens next. Most people screw this part up. They don't tell people kind of what happens next. What happens when I become a coach? What happens when I get the challenge pack? Great. So now what I'm going to do is, once I tell you how to fill everything in and get started, I'm going to actually put you into my challenge group. It's already started last week. We have a pre-week, so it's already started up. I'll put you right into it. And then a week afterwards, we're going to get you started with a 21-day workout program. You can say something like that when their program comes in. Or if it's coaching, you can tell them. One of the big things for coaches, I think the reason I'm able to sign up a lot of coaches is I tell them flat out, because people don't know what's going to happen next. And that's usually their biggest fear. So I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, on Monday, we start a new coach boot camp. It's 5 days. After that, we do a 5-day social media makeover, and it's awesome. You're going to do it in a big group. It's going to be great. That's how you want to get started. So that's almost the last step. The last step is the action. So you've given them solution, what's going to happen. Now you give them the action step. The action step is what to do. And a lot of people mess this part up. It's so easy, right? So you have to tell them at the end. I've seen so many people put out posts and they don't close it with like what to do next, right? So if it's just a post, tell them, comment below or send me a private message. Or if it's a chat one-on-one, tell them like, all I need now is your email address and I'll get Beachbody to send you an email to get you started. Or here's the link to, however you decide to do it. Here's the link to purchase the workout program. It'll take you 10 minutes. I always tell them 10 minutes. I give them a time limit, kind of subconsciously. It'll take you 10 minutes to fill this information in. When you're done, come back and give me the order number, and I'll put you into that group that I was just telling you about. I can't wait to get you started. You have to do all those things. So that's kind of my process that I follow. So again, it's rapport, trust, credibility, give them the information, solve their problem, give them a solution, and then tell them what to do next. If you do all those things, you should really be able to up your percentages of how many people you're actually closing, because I think that's important. I think a lot of times we focus so much on go for no, and I agree, that's all great. It is about like just volume for sure, like talk to tons of people. But I also know a lot of coaches that they'll sign up 60 coaches, they'll only get 1 or 2 in Success Club. I also know lots of people that talk to 100 people and only sell 2 challenge packs. But then I also know people that talk to 100 people and sell 20, 30 challenge packs. And I know some people that sign up 30 coaches and get 10, 20 in Success Club. So what's the difference? And again, the difference is processes. It's not that you're not saying the right things. It's not that you don't know how to do what I'm telling you to do. You know that stuff. Everyone's probably like, well, that's obvious. Build trust. That's obvious. Build rapport. That's obvious. Solve their problem. That's obvious. But if you don't have that in front of you for a while, that's why I wanted you to write it out. Keep that in front of you. I think if you have it in front of you and you think about those things as you're chatting with people and you're like, oh, Miguel said, I really should, they're asking me the money, but I probably should do this. Then you go back and you do that. And eventually it becomes habit. Eventually you've formed a habit. You do it naturally. And that's what's so great about when you do something over and over again. Eventually you just get really, really, really good at it. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. Hopefully I talked not too fast. I'll throw it back to Lindsay if you guys have any questions, or if Lindsay has any questions. Hopefully that was valuable, Lindsay.
Oh, of course it was valuable. I have no idea if you could see me the whole time. I was cracking up, and I'm sure my team was too, because you are hysterical. I was laughing out loud, and my computer kept saying, you're muted because
that's funny.
That's incredible, and it's so valuable. I'll tell you why, because yours truly doesn't, like, I'm not that into processes like you, for sure. I wrote every single step down. I wrote down my little triangle, and I'm definitely going to go back through it. I love number 2, though, just the trust and credibility, and how you said your Facebook has to reiterate what you're saying. It's that 15-second scroll. Like, what am I going to see? Does it really line up with what you're asking me to do? Because I'm not going to join you if your walk's not matching your talk, okay? So thank you for giving us that and just reiterating such amazing things that needed to be said. Miguel, I appreciate you taking the time. You're seriously one of my favorite people, and definitely one of my favorite speakers. I know my team has loved this call, and we are going to review it and watch it over and over and over. It's going to be given to all the new people. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for having me. And thank you. And I hope everybody realizes how awesome you are. And man, I remember when I first signed up as a coach, I was researching all the coaches, and I saw your story too. And I was like, I didn't know who to pick, right? Because I was one of those ones that researched all the coaches. I was like, Scotty Hobbs or Lindsay or you, Lindsay, or like, I don't know who to pick. And then I saw Melanie, and I saw all these coaches, and I was like, I didn't know. I knew I was going to go with a bombshell coach, but I just fluked out who I picked. But it's been so great, regardless, that we're all friends and we're all family and we all hang out. And that's honestly been the biggest blessing to me. So I'm just, the other day when I messaged you, I was just scrolling, and I was like, oh yeah. And I was talking to Erin. I was like, I should do a team call for her. I'll reach out for her and see if she needs anything or whatever. I think like a couple days later, you had the baby too. I think after we were chatting.
Yeah. It was so kind of you. Seriously. I was like, blew me away. I'm like, dude. So I would pay the favor, you know.
That's awesome. I'm excited. Oh, that's cool. I can't wait to have you on our call. And yeah, we'll see you at Summit. I'm sorry again about the tech part. That's the one thing I can't control. But one day, I swear, the internet will be like water. You'll just turn it on, and it'll just always work.
Always work. Dude, don't worry. It's the beautiful thing about it being recorded is the content's still there, and we appreciate everyone for hanging on and being here for us. But if we had to lose some people, no big deal. It's recorded.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll see you at Summit. Can't wait to hug you.
Yeah, you bet. Take it easy. Kiss that baby for me.
I will.
And Tony.
Tell Erin I said hi.
Okay, bye.
Bye.